So, Disney XD was one of, if not the best TV channels out there for children at its time. It not only had the best shows, but lots of people have grown up with it, myself included. Now, if you clicked on this video thinking I'll be talking about the newer shit, that would not be more from wrong. I want to talk about Lab Rats, Gravity Falls, Fish Hooks, I'm in the Band, if you guys remember that one. Disney XD was like the cooler version of the main Disney Channel. If you know, you had to be there to know that feeling. Now, XD has definitely gone down in quality over the years, with it being mostly shut down or rebranded to promote Disney Plus more. And you know what? Maybe it was time. You know, you can't keep something going forever, but man, I kinda miss it. And I know a lot of you do too, so I wanted to make this video to not only try and capture how it felt back then, but to also talk about all the shows that came along with it. And some of the history behind it, because Disney XD was actually kinda hated by some, and still might be, but we'll get into that later. Gotta keep you watching, gotta keep that retention up, or else I don't get paid. So come with me on this nostalgic adventure as we travel through the Disney XD verse, or don't. You don't have to. This video is sponsored by me, the channel you're watching right now. Listen, I'm close to 10k subs, so it'd be nice if you could just, hit that little button real quick. Or you could like, I'm not gonna say no. Alright, I guess that's it, so I'll let you continue the video now. Enjoy or don't, and if you don't, I'll be very, very sad, so make sure you enjoy it. The first show that I want to touch base on is Lab Rats, since not only was it the most popular show, but lots of people's favorite. If you never watched Lab Rats, then what the fuck are you doing here? If you somehow haven't, here, I'll explain it in perfect detail. Kid normal, kid mom married Jeff Bezos, so no longer normal, find out superhero-esque siblings, so now he helps sometimes. Hope that summed it up for you in a very detailed manner. No, but I think Lab Rats was probably not the best show on Disney XD, but it was still one of like the top 10. It was so good that they tried to make a spin-off, but it didn't pay Disney enough, so they stopped it after one season. It also had that one guy from Pants on Fire, which I don't know why, but I loved that movie as a kid. Lab Rats had a lot going for it in the beginning, becoming pretty popular whenever it started, but I think that was its main problem, at least kinda. It hit peak popularity in season 1, but it has 3 other seasons. I'm not saying season 2 to 4 are bad. All I'm saying is season 1 was probably the best and most enjoyable. But that's an opinion, okay? Please don't click off, but please. I would like to say though, I think it's funny how not long after Lab Rats aired, Nickelodeon would air The Thundermans, which is pretty much about superhero-esque teenagers. You can see the similarities. Lab Rats was perfectly cast since all the actors work pretty well together and have good chemistry. And to me, there wasn't really a main favorite among anybody either, since each character was played pretty well. Chase being the smarter one, Bree being the quick-witted one, Leo being the other smart one, and Adam being incredibly fucking stupid. But I have to say, my favorite was Principal Perry. The comedic timing of all the jokes, I rewatched the show and found myself actually laughing a bit, definitely funnier than me. Now, I could make an entire video on Lab Rats, but A, I don't want to, and I'm just saying that to make the script longer, and B, someone already did, and it's a pretty damn good video. Lab Rats is definitely a show that'll be remembered for a while since so many people watched it, but there's more out there in the Disney XD verse. So the next show I want to talk about is Gravity Falls. Hey guys, editor Nokeldy here. I just realized that the entire audio recording that I made for this video had a clicking noise in the back of it. Now, I recorded this audio in like April, and it's now August, so it's been it's been a little while. So if the audio is different at all, or my voice sounds different, that's because this is being re-recorded 4 months later. So yeah, just wanted to make that clear. Back to it. Have fun. Don't kill yourself. Alright, yep, talk to you later. Gravity Falls is almost the perfect show. Each episode is pretty good, and the story and lore is what keeps the fanbase still going today. It's surprising to know really how popular this show is whenever it only has 2 seasons. Of course, the books and game keep it relevant too, but for a show that aired more than a decade ago and only has 2 seasons, it's kind of unheard of for it to still be pretty popular. Something that I was interested in though is why did the show stop so early? Well, it wasn't the network being shitty, surprisingly, or anything bad really. The creator just didn't want to drag out the show, and honestly, good idea, because I know Disney would have probably to keep it going like other companies do, like Netflix wanting Squid Game to have a 3rd season even though it could have been wrapped up in season 2, or Netflix continuing Big Mouth for way too long, or Netflix taking the actual good shows off. Sorry, I really just fucking hate Netflix. It pisses me off, probably more than it should. But something that I will admit though is that I've never gotten the full extent of the Gravity Falls lore, because every episode is pretty much a lore dump, but I will try my hardest. Don't Don't get mad. Sorry if I'm gonna sound like a 5th grader giving his first presentation, but let me get the basics out of the way. Dipper and Mabel spend the summer with their great uncle Stan in the town of Gravity Falls, and you wanna know a crazy fact? That is the name of the show. Unfortunately, it isn't just a nice old trip, since the more Mabel and Dipper stay, the more secrets they encounter. There's this set of journals that give more insight into the lore, and if you want me to go through every little thing, this is not the video for you. Of course, Stan knows a lot since he lives there, so he tries to hide everything but ultimately fails. And as the show goes on, Stan goes from this self-centered prick to an actual alright guy, which, I mean, it's a kid's show, so it makes sense. And as the show goes on, more shit happens, and the more they discover. There's this little guy called Bill who tries to mess everything up, being the main villain of the show. Bill being trillions of years old, he already ruined another planet, so now he's gonna ruin Earth too, so why not? It's already getting there. Main thing to get from this, Bill is trying to bring chaos on Earth, and Stan, Dipper, and Mabel are trying to fix whatever it is that's going on. The characters of the show are actually very well written, especially for a kid's cartoon. Like I said earlier, Stan being an ass then turning into a kind of nice man, Dipper being overly curious, and Mabel just being Mabel. I'd have to say though, my favorite character is Seuss for sure, because he is genuinely funny. Watching it now, he's still funny, especially that zombie episode. Another character, Wendy, is of course Dipper's love interest, but Dipper gets turned down and they stay friends, which I'm glad they took that turn on it instead of like something else. Overall, good characters, amazing story. What more could you ask for in a show? Everything was done right. Of course, there's a couple nitpicks here and there, but everyone did their part. But there is another show I have to touch on because it was peak of the peak. Of course, I'm talking about Fish Hooks. Now this show, oh boy, this was the shit. Lab Rats is good, Gravity Falls is too, but goddamn, nothing beats Fish Hooks. I don't know a specific reason, but I really like the animation, even though lots of people kinda don't. Now, does 50% of this love come from when I was a kid? Yes, but I don't care. Alright, I remember how happy I once was. Even the voice actors are great. You got Corey in the house, funny kid from the middle, Alex Hirsch, I definitely said that wrong, but he made Gravity Falls, and Justin Rowland. Okay, maybe he's not the best. It doesn't have the most in-depth story, but it doesn't really need one. It's a sillier show than the rest, I guess, is what I'm trying to say. The show revolves around 3 main characters, Bee, Milo, and Oscar. Oscar being a nerdy character, Bee being the happier one, and Milo being the quote-unquote quirky one. You also got Chelsea, Mr. Baldwin, and fucking Clemantha. The show flows fine, though there's some bad apples, but the show really shines in its last episode being the best one of the series in my opinion. Oscar has been in love with Bee for the entire show, and in the they finally get together, which is a huge turning point in their lives and for the show. It's a nice little love story, sometimes creepy, sometimes very creepy. But hey, what do you know? If you've never heard of Fish Hooks, this all sounds definitely stupid to you, but like I said, you had to be there. You could tell the creators and voice actors were just having fun with the show, being stupidly unserious sometimes. It's one of those shows that you can't necessarily sit down and watch much of today, but you can reflect back and be like, oh yeah, I remember loving that. I wish I could talk more about Fish Hooks, but I'm trying to get this video out, alright? Y'all have been starving. So moving forward, I'm not really gonna talk about a specific show, more like honorable mentions, like Kick Buttowski, Randy Cunningham, Parker Plays, and others. And that one show where they just literally put on YouTubers videos. By the way, Parker Plays doesn't get as much love as it should. Alright, it was definitely cringe and over the top, but that was, again, the shit. I'm in the Band was another show that didn't get enough love in my opinion because it was pretty swell too. Now this might get me shot and killed, JFK, but honestly, I've never been the biggest Phineas and Ferb guy. I know, it's quite sinful, but I really think it's just because Candace would annoy the fuck out of me. I get it, they're building some crazy shit, but Jesus H. Christ, it gets a little tiring after a while. I do think it's kinda cool they brought it back, so good on you, Disney. Anywho, the video isn't entirely about the shows on Disney XD, although a lot of it is. I'd like to talk a little bit about the history of the program as well. Now, Disney XD wasn't the original program, it used to be 2 programs, Toon Disney and Jetix, but eventually somehow they both combined into Disney XD, and honestly, nothing was really that different. The only change was a couple shows and the name, so overall, it was still kinda similar. Supposedly though, Toon Disney and Jetix were rebranded to Disney XD to appeal to a younger audience, but like, why? Toon Disney already had shows dedicated to children, in my opinion, more than Disney XD did. And I mean that as in like, Toon Disney definitely sounds more childlike than Disney XD. I'm getting this from Wikipedia, so I don't know if this is fully true. true, but Gary Marsh, the president of Disney Channel, said that the XD in Disney XD doesn't really mean anything at all. It just kind of looked cool. Maybe I'm harping on this a little too much, I get it, but why even change the name or program in the first place if you wanted to appeal to a younger audience? When Toon Disney and Jetix already did that? It's called fucking Toon Disney, alright? Again, maybe I'm being stupid, but it just weirdly pisses me off. At the end of the day though, it's all just because of money and Disney wanting to get richer. Disney XD finally launched in early 2009 and was met with mixed reviews, to say the least. It mainly faced backlash because of the stupid business choices and worse shows than the main Disney Channel. And yeah, I get it, you know, but why rebrand and change a brand that so many people know and love already? As the years went on though, more popular shows would release on Disney XD and it would make more of a name for itself. The golden age of XD was probably 2010 to 2014 just because of the shows that were releasing in that time period. And it's also because that's when I probably started watching Disney XD. So maybe I'm a little biased, okay? But it's my video. So what do you have to say to that, people? I'd say around 2017 to 2019 is when the fall of XD started, since the shows weren't really hitting for a lot of people and just the company was doing silly shit again. The only okay show that came out around this time was probably Big City Greens or something. And in the present year, Disney XD is definitely not what it once was, declining in viewership and not making Disney as much money as it used to. So Disney would shut it down in lots of places and focus more on Disney Plus. At least XD isn't like MTV though, where it only airs 2 fucking shows that are Ridiculousness and Big Bang Theory. Anyway, Disney XD used to be something we loved or enjoyed, but let's be honest, of course we're not watching it really anymore. The kids that did watch it grew up and started to watch other stuff. Did Disney kind of fuck it over because they wanted more money? Yes, but also, would you rather watch Disney XD at 9 p.m. on a Friday night or go out and do stuff? Have fun. Now, I know most of you are probably thinking about watching Disney XD at 9 p.m. on a Friday night, but do you get my point? Also, streaming sites have become more popular, like Disney Plus, which gives you access to shows any time of the day instead of specific intervals. So yes, I miss Disney XD, but that's just nostalgia speaking. Would I be pumped if XD had more shows and was as popular as it once was? No. But it'd be pretty cool. Thanks for watching the video. If you didn't like it or want to see more like this, I suggest these videos because they're pretty great. All right, well, that's all for me. I don't know how to end this video, so here's a message from the one and only Shoe Nice.
Hey viewers, Shoe Nice again, famous YouTuber. Well, basically, I want you to put on your game face and go subscribe to Nokelda. That's right, Nokelda. Or I'll see you in your nightmare.